Okay, everyone, here's the truth behind those weird rubber fruit videos you've been seeing on TikTok and all over social media. I spent about an hour and a half trying to find the reality behind this, and I finally found this video by a woman that I think she knows what she's talking about. I have a 4-year degree in biology from Florida Tech, so what she's saying sounds factual to me. You can have a watch and decide for yourself. But what I did, and you can find a link to her original video in the description below. All I did here is heavily edit her video, take out all the stuff that she was talking about that didn't really seem to apply to the reality behind what you're seeing. And hopefully, I've made something that's going to be pretty easy for even non-science folks to understand. So look, if this makes sense to you, please feel free to share this video around and let's get the truth out there. Thanks.
You watch
Enjoy.
these TikTok videos right here and you're like my sister questioning whether or not the government is poisoning us, then this video is most definitely for you. Now, ultimately speaking, the three that are showing up on TikTok the most are bananas, avocados, and watermelons, but we can commonly see this in so many different other fruits and vegetables. What it actually comes down to is what the plant naturally does as it begins to ripen. So, as a tomato or a watermelon becomes ripe, these cells themselves, the cells begin to decompose in a sense and almost explode and deteriorate, which makes the texture of said watermelon more tasty, much easier, crumbly in your mouth, if you will. And this is because of cell wall deterioration. Essentially, things are just falling apart. When the plant loses too much water, the vacuole will collapse, and then in turn, the cell wall will collapse with it. But if the cell walls aren't allowed to expand to the amount that they need to make said texture, the said texture that we want, you're going to end up with a plant that's not too delicious. If water is limited, such as a drought season or really high heats where you just simply couldn't ever apply enough water, we tend to get vacuoles that are shrunken and therefore a cell wall that is also shrunken and just something that doesn't have a lot of juice in it. The watermelons you are seeing on TikTok are something called woody or woody textured watermelons. And the only reason that these exist actually comes down to the lack of water. So if you didn't get the memo, North America is in a little bit of a drought. I didn't get the memo. Saskatchewan didn't get the memo because it will not stop raining here. Manitoba won't stop raining. Alberta won't stop raining. It just keeps on raining. So those provinces, they didn't get the memo. But the rest of North America, they got the memo. And they are currently in a drought. And obviously with the drought, we are going to have turgor pressures that are going to suffer and cell walls that are gonna collapse around said vacuoles and make some very woody watermelon. So that's what's going on with the watermelon. So with bananas and avocados, we're actually suffering from the exact same thing. Actually, it's vacuoles that aren't expanding fully. So when a plant doesn't expand on its vacuole and really increase the water content, it obviously will make something that is harder and almost plastic-like in a sense. Now, the other reason why this can affect the texture is because the cell wall deterioration can't take place. No water or less water present, the process of decomposition is much slower. So think of a semi-dehydrated fruit or vegetable that you buy from the store or you dehydrate on yourself, and how it's shelf stable for quite a long time. Kind of what's happening with these fruits and vegetables on TikTok. They're in this pseudo dehydrated state where there's not enough moisture and stuff going on to decompose it quickly anyways, but there's also not enough to make the texture good. So ultimately it just is kind of making some gross produce. Bottom line, welcome to the drought of 2024. You can expect much more of this and or just fruits and vegetables that taste like absolute garbage.
And that, everyone, is what I believe to be the most scientific and acceptable explanation for all the rubber fruit you're seeing on TikTok and all the social media. I don't think we're being sold plastic fruit. I don't believe that microplastics can be absorbed through the root system, go up to a plant and into the food. I just don't think that's possible. And so I think this is most likely explanation. So if you agree, share and enjoy, and let's get the truth out there.